Hi, I'm David Wills at TED-IELTS, and today I would like to show you a video. This video here, in fact, of me doing a Zoom call with a man from Bangladesh. In this Zoom call, I conducted a mock speaking test. I asked Sebestian questions from all three parts of the IELTS exam, and he gave me his best answers. He had not heard these questions before, and you can tell that from the video because sometimes they take him a little by surprise. But his performance in this video was very good. Mostly his pronunciation and fluency were at an extremely high level. Sebestian speaks English every day, and you will notice from this he has an American accent. His grammar was very good. I did notice him once making a mistake. Instead of saying a picture, he said the picture. But that was, I think, the only grammatical error, and so he surely did enough to score band 9. If he was very unlucky, he might get 8.5, but this was extremely high level. Throughout this video, you should notice his use of language. He is not trying to say any amazing words like plethora or anything that some lazy teachers try to tell you. Instead, he just uses everyday English, which is exactly what is expected in the IELTS speaking test. His answers were not too long and they were not too short. They directly addressed the question, and it was very clear that he understood everything I had said and I could understand everything he had said. Fundamentally, that is the most important thing about IELTS speaking. So let's jump right into our video for today. Hello, my name is David Wills. What is your full name?
Hello, my full name is Sebestian Palma.
And what can I call you?
You can call me Sebestian.
Okay, hello Sebestian. Let's begin our IELTS exam. We're going to move on to part 1, first of all, and I'm going to ask you some questions on different topics. Are you ready?
Sure.
First of all, we'll look at the topic of photos and photography. How often do you take photographs?
Almost never, because I'm not, I consider myself a lot more introverted, so I tend to not even share photos. So I don't even take any, mostly.
So do you think photographs are important in people's lives?
It could be, because a lot of the times these kind of resemble a very precious memory, so in those cases it is.
On those times when you do take a photo, do you prefer using your phone or a camera?
I prefer a camera, but again, I need to have access to one, and that's kind of that's not possible a lot of the time, so I still end up taking photos with my phone.
Okay, let's talk about seasons now. What is your favorite season of the year?
My favorite season of the year is winter, because I love sweaters and blankets and warmth, and that's kind of something, it's only possible to enjoy in winter. So yeah, it's going to remain winter in my opinion.
And how many seasons are there per year in your hometown?
So here in Dhaka, and even in Bangladesh, it's 6 seasons, and there's a lot of variety.
What would you say are the benefits of the different seasons?
So we have 6 seasons, and I guess this kind of this change or this variation could probably refreshing the mind at times because, it can get a little bit monotonous. So, nature has its own miracles, and I guess this is one of those that probably helps people to actually, rejuvenate as the year goes by.
Okay. Let's talk about health now. What can people do to improve their physical health?
So a man is made of habits, right? And hence we need to start with habits, and in order to improve one's health or stay fit, it all starts with a regular physical activity. It could be jogging, it could be going to the gym, and so forth.
What about mental health? What can people do to improve mental health?
That is a very difficult question, and the only answer that comes to my mind is to probably be or try to create an environment that is actually supportive of their goals. That way, people won't be, people would be in their right state of mind most of the time. And other than that, I guess they could also reach out to therapists, and I guess that's it in that scenario.
What can teachers do to encourage children to lead more healthy lives?
Well, when it comes to teachers and students, I guess teachers could set good examples for their students. That way, it's one thing because the issue is, people generally tend to, not listen to what the elderly or grown-ups say. So in this case, children won't listen to what they say. But if they see them actually doing it themselves, I guess children are more likely to follow grown-ups.
Okay, Sebastian, we're finished with part 1 now. We're going to move along to part 2 of this IELTS speaking test. All right, let's continue with part 2 of our speaking test. I'm going to give you a cue card, which you can see now. You should take 1 minute to look at this, think of an answer, make some notes, and then I expect you to speak for between 1 and 2 minutes on this topic. You can go ahead.
So the prize I'd like to talk about is a bowl with the picture of Tom and Jerry, and I won it probably a very long time ago. It's been a decade. And it was a biscuit race in kindergarten, so it was like a event that took place on the last day of the class. And so what happened was, me and a bunch of kids had to participate in a race where there was a biscuit that was hanging up there were a bunch of biscuits in every individual lane, which were hung with a string and a bar on the top of it. So all the participants had to do was to get to the first end and just eat the biscuit and return as fast as possible to the starting point. And there were 10 people, so I was competing with 10 other kids, and all I had to do was become second. So yeah, that was a case for this scenario, and it definitely felt good back then, but looking back at it, I don't know. I mean, I don't think I appreciate it as much as I used to, because as a kid, Tom and Jerry was was like were like legends to me, but since I don't even watch them anymore, I guess, yeah, I mean, that's definitely something that's how things have changed.
Were other people proud of you when you won?
Looking back, I guess they were, or I mean, it could also be they were just pretending. And you know, obviously that there are people who don't like to attend these events. They just do it because you know kids can become sort of you know, stubborn and stuff. So yeah.
Okay, let's move on to part 3 now. How helpful is competition for children?
It depends. If it's, you know, nothing destructive where, you know, people are actually, you know, getting violent and stuff, getting noisy and, you know, just causing chaos, in that case, it's really, it could be detrimental to their development. But on the other hand, you know, there are things which could encourage people. So, you know, if someone is doing well and, you know, there's a competition, others might strive to do better. And what that will lead to is development in the long run.
Okay. What is the difference between the competitive attitudes of amateurs and professionals?
So for amateurs, they don't care much about winning, you know, and many of them might be interested to moving in the professional, moving to that professional realm, but I guess they're not, you know, as fierce as professionals would be because you know, their whole livelihood depends on it, compared to amateurs, you know, who are not even taking it seriously. So that's my opinion on it.
Is there any downside to having a very competitive nature?
There could be. What comes to my mind is probably a lack of rest, and that could definitely, you know, burn people out and lead to really bad circumstances later on.
In your country, how are children generally rewarded when they do something successfully?
Here in Bangladesh, people tend to give them candies and, you know, sweets and sometimes other prizes, other gifts, such as it could be you know, toys and probably stationery. So that's it.
Okay, let's finish there for today. Thank you, Sebastian.
Thank you, Mr. David.